Hello everyone. In the previous session we discussed what is list and array list and their characteristics with practical approach. Okay. In today's video we will see how to create a simple that is raw array list without generics and check whether it can store different types of data. After that we will see the problems that can occur when we work with simple array list, especially typecasting and class cast exception. After that, we will introduce generics and understand what exactly are generics, why do we use generics with array list, what is type safety, how do generics detect error at compile time, how do generics eliminate the need for explicit typecasting, and we will also understand why primitive data types like int, double and boolean cannot be used directly with generics. And finally, we will discuss frequently asked interview questions based on these concepts. Okay, all the points are important to understand as an interview perspective. So we will cover all these concepts step by step with practical approach. Okay, so let's get started. So first let's see how to create a simple array list. Then we will check can array list store different types of data, and we will check it out. Okay, let's create a simple array list. So array list is a class. It is a built-in or predefined class which implement a list interface. So if we press Ctrl and click, as you can see, this is a predefined array list class which is available in java.util package. Okay, and array list was introduced in Java 1.2. Okay, now let's create an array list, a reference variable, and it's suppose list. So here list is a reference variable of array list which will store on stack memory. Okay, and now let's create an actual array list object using a new keyword, array list. So it is showing a red line error. So if we move cursor on it, then it's saying that import array list because array list is available in java.util package, right? So here this list is a reference variable of array list and it will create the actual array list object which will store on heap memory. Okay, so in this way we can create simple array list. Now let's add some elements into it using add method. Okay, so we can write list dot add and it's suppose 10. Similarly add list dot 20 and list dot 30. And now let's print this array list and now if I run this code we will get output 10, 20 and 30. So let's check it out. So let's run the code and let's see. As you can see we have got output 10, 20 and 30. So output is well and good, everything is going well. So if you notice here we have add only integer value to the array list, right? But now what if I want to add string, boolean and double value to the same array list? So the question comes that can an array list store values of different data types? So let's try it and see what happened. Okay, so let's add here string instead of integer and it's suppose Java. And let's add here the double value and it's suppose 10.5. And here we can add the boolean value and it's true. Okay, now this list contain a different types of data, right? And now let's run it and let's see. So as you can see we have got an expected output without any error. That means array list allow to store values of different data types. That means array list can be heterogeneous. And heterogeneous means array list can store elements of a different data types. And this is one of the feature of array list, that array list can be heterogeneous. Okay, but there is a problem with it. The problem is not when we add the values. The problem comes when we try to get the value back. That means when we try to retrieve a specific value from a particular index, then it can cause a problem. But how? Let's understand it with an example. Okay, so let's retry you the integer value which is at 0 index. Okay, so for that we can write list dot get and write here 0 index, because we are going to retry you an integer value which is at 0 index, and let's store it in variable num which is of integer type. But remember, all the values we add to an array list store as an object. That means all the elements in an array list are an objects. So when we retrieve the value, we need to typecast it to the required type. Okay, so here we are going to retrieve the integer value, right, which is at 0 index. So here we will need to typecast it in integer value. Okay, all right, so this is called typecasting. And now let's print variable num. Similarly, if we want to retrieve string value, then we can retrieve it like this. So string value is present at index 1, right? So here we will have to put 1 instead of 0, and we'll need to typecast it into a string because we are retrieving the string value, right? And here also we will need to store it in string variable. That's it. And let's change here num to name. Okay, all right, and let's print here name. And now let's run the code and let's see. As you can see here, we have got an integer value which is at 0 index, and we have got string value which is at 1 index. So we got an expected output. But if we have to typecast every time when we retrieve an element, then it can make our code lengthy, and that's not a good approach, right? So this is a first problem we face while working with simple or raw array list. Okay, and the second problem is, what if we accidentally change the index? For example, here if we use index 1 instead of 0, so the value at index 1 is string, right? But if we try to typecast it into an integer, then we will get a class cast exception at runtime. So let's check it out. Let's run the code again. So here, as you can see, it raised class cast exception. So to solve these problems, generics come to the picture. So what exactly are generics? Let's understand. So in simple words, generics allow us to specify what type of data our array list can store. So let's understand this with this same example. So instead of creating our array list like this, we can specify the type inside angle bracket, and it's suppose integer. And same we need to specify at the end, that is here. Or instead you can simply specify the diamond operator like this. Okay, so either you can specify type here same like this, or you can simply put a diamond operator. Both are valid. So here we have specified integer type. That means this array list allow to store only integer values. And if we specify here string type instead of integer, then the array list allow to store string elements or string values. Okay. Similarly, if we specify double, character, boolean and long type, then it will store data accordingly. Okay, so here this integer is generic type argument, which tells the array list to store integer values only. So basically this array list allow to store only integer values because here we have specified integer as a generic type. But here we add string, double and boolean type data also, and therefore it's showing red line errors. You can see here. So if we move cursor on it, then it's telling that this array list not applicable for the arguments string, double and boolean. So if we notice here, it raising errors before running the code. right? Because generics provide type safety by catching type related errors at compile time rather than at runtime, so that we can correct it before running the program. Okay, so basically generics provide us type safety and detect errors at compile time, and this is one of the main advantage of generics. Okay, clear? As well as generics also help us while retrieving the data. Let's see how. So earlier when we were using an array list without generics, then we need to typecast the value, right? But now we have specified integer as a generic type, and therefore typecasting is not required because Java already know that this array list contain only integer values. So basically generics helps us in two ways. First, they provide type safety while adding data and detect error at compile time. And second, they eliminate the need for typecasting while retrieving the data. And that's why generics are very useful when working with collections like array list. Okay, and I will make a separate video on generics. So for now, just remember generics provide type safety by allow us to specify what type of data we want to use. Okay, clear? And don't worry, all the points I have mentioned in PDF notes. So just focus on understanding the concept. Okay, now here another question comes up, and that is, why can't we use primitive data type like integer, char, boolean, double, long with generics, right? So the answer is simple. Generics work with objects or references, not with primitive data types. Okay, so always remember generics work with objects or references, not with primitive data types. And that's why we cannot specify here primitive data types like int. Okay, we cannot specify primitive data type. Okay, so instead we use the corresponding wrapper classes like integer, double, character, boolean, and long. So here integer, double, character, boolean, and long are the wrapper classes, and they represent their primitive type as object. So when we use generic, we use these wrapper classes instead of primitive data types. Okay, so here use integer instead of int. Okay, so simply keep in mind generics work with object, so when we need to use primitive value with generics, we use their corresponding wrapper classes. Clear? So in this way we can create array list with generics. So up to this we learn how to create raw, that is simple array list, and generic array list. And now let's understand another and most recommended approach to create an array list, and that is we can create an array list using the list interface. In fact, this is the most recommended way to create an array list. So how? Let's understand. So instead of writing like this, we can simply write list and specify here generic type, and it's suppose integer, and the reference variable suppose list1, new array list. So instead of this you can simply put the diamond operator at the end. Okay, this is also valid. So here list is an interface and the array list is a class which implement the list interface. So basically the reference type is list, but the actual object we are creating is an array list, and all the remaining operations remain the same. There is no change in them, but the only change is in how we create the array list object. Okay, so now question comes that why this approach is most recommended, right? And this is frequently asked interview question, so listen carefully. Okay, so let's understand why this approach mostly recommended. So just think you are a Java developer and you are developing an application where you are using an array list, and you write your code specifically based on the array list class. okay? But after few days your requirement has changed and now you decided to use linked list instead of array list. So what will happen? You may need to make several changes to your existing code because your code is tightly coupled to the array list implementation. That means, in other words, your code is directly dependent on the specific implementation class like array list, right? And that's the problem. But as a good developer, instead of writing your code specifically for array list, you can write your code using list interface. And now what happened? Your code is based on list interface, not specifically on array list. And after few days, if your requirement change and you decided to use a linked list instead of array list, then you can simply change the implementation. Like you can simply change here link list, and the rest of your code that uses the common list operations can remain the same. So instead of writing separate code for each implementation class, we write our code based on the list interface and choose the implementation class according to our requirement. And this make our application more flexible and easier to maintain, and that's why this approach is useful and generally recommended. So simply keep in mind, write your code based on the interface and choose the implementation class according to your requirement. Okay, so I hope you understand why this approach is recommended. Okay, all right, now let's discuss important and frequently asked interview questions. Okay, so this is one of the most important and frequently asked question in Java interviews that already we have discussed. So the question is, why do we prefer this? That means, why do we prefer to create array list using a list interface? Why this approach is most recommended? So the answer is, it provides flexibility because our code depends on the list interface rather than directly depending on array list. So if our requirement change in future, we can simply change the implementation class when required without making unnecessary changes to the rest of our code, and provide this example. And in future, we can change implementation class like linked list, while code using common list operation can remain unchanged. And this explanation is enough to explain why this approach is recommended. So why this approach is most recommended, we already discussed. Okay, and the second question is, what does program to an interface not an implementation means? This is also an important and frequently asked interview question in many companies, including companies like Zensar. So prepare it well. So first, let's understand the meaning of this question. So the meaning of this question is, why should we write our code using an interface instead of depending directly on a specific implementation class like array list or linked list? So it's basically asking, why should we use this approach? So this question, that is question number 2, and this question, that is question number 1, these two questions are essentially asking about the same concept, just in a different way. Therefore, we can give the same explanation that we discussed for the previous question. So we can say, it means we should depend on an interface rather than a specific implementation. And this provides flexibility because we can change the implementation when required, and provide the same example that we discussed for previous question. Okay. And the next question is, why do we use generics with array list? So answer is, we use generics with array list mainly to provide type safety. We already discussed it, okay? And generics allow us to specify what type of data our array list should store and provide this simple example. And this answer is enough. And the last question is, can generics work with primitive data types? So you can say, no, generics work with objects or references type, not primitive data type, okay? And give this example, okay? That's all, guys. In the next video, we are going to discuss a very important topic from an interview perspective. and it is how ArrayList work internally and what happen when internal array become full in ArrayList. We will understand it step by step and see what actually happen behind the scene. Okay, so let's continue this in the next video. And if you have any question regarding to this session, feel free to leave them in the comment box. I will be active for the 2 hour after the video is uploaded to answer your question. Okay, and if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. It motivates me a lot to make such useful videos for you. Now I'm going to end here. See you in the next video. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and thank you so much for watching.